She was dating a married man for 14 years. She knew that the man was married. She was okay with being a second wife.
There are people that are very okay with being second wives. You know that. And it's something that is very allowed in our...
Yes, in our society.
Yeah.
You know, when you build with a man, you feel like, oh, there's no way you can abandon me. We have built a life together. Like, we have practically suffered together. We have drank garri together. we have also together. Like, we have had to share one bed. Like, you don't understand. You already see your life with this person. There is no way on earth this person will abandon me. She just kept hoping that, oh, everything is going to make sense. Even though I'm going to end up being a second wife, there's no problem. She was just being a faithful partner.
Breakups are okay. Not every relationship has to have a happily ever after.
Wow. It is well.
Hello everyone, welcome to LHS, Law, History and Society, where we connect law to the people. My name is Amara, and today we are going to be discussing a very interesting story. A Nigerian woman sued a German man for a breach of promise to marry. So, according to her, he has been promising to marry her, then he did not. But before we go any further with this story, I want to set a disclaimer that we're not giving any form of legal advice here. We're just here to, have a conversation. And before I go any further, I have two amazing persons here with me today, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, Amara. My name is Israel.
Nice to meet you, Israel.
Hi, Amara. My name is Onyinye Chidike.
Nice to meet you, Onyinye. So I'll go on with the story. So this Nigerian woman, for this purpose of the story, her name will be Bimpe. Let's just go on. She's a Warri woman. So this woman, according to her, this German man has been saying that he would marry her. They've been together for 14 years. And for every year, for emphasis, he has been saying, oh, they will marry, going on with marriage arrangements and everything else. So after the 14 years, he did not marry her after all the promises. So she went to court and sued him, requesting damages of 20 million and also asking the courts to force him to actually fulfill the marriage promise. Now, this is where the case gets interesting, as this is not the first time she has filed this case before. So the first initial case was filed, and in that initial case, the company where the German man worked, the company found the case very embarrassing, and decided to ask the lady, call them together and ask them, okay, what does she want? What should they do for her so that she can drop the case? So she requested that they furnish her house and we order amenities, fully furnish her house with other amenities, and she would drop the case, which the company then did. And then she removed the case from the court, and she dropped the case. Then, some months later, she filed the case. She went on and opened the case again in court on the same claim for the man saying, oh, she wants him to get married to her. So the man then went to court and was like, oh no, he cannot get married to her. The court cannot compel him to get married to her. The first thing he asked the court to do was to remove the case from the court, as she has already brought the matter before and she has been compensated on that matter. The second thing he said was that he cannot get married to her because he is already married. He has a wife, and so no one can compel him to get married to her. Then, going on in the High Court, the High Court then rejected the man's claim and was like, oh yes, that there is no initial claim, as she said that the person that compensated her was not the man and he was not the party to the suit, it was the company. So the High Court agreed on those grounds. On going to the Appellate Court rejected her claim and now said that she cannot go further on that action as she has already received compensation. As she was aggrieved, she went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court also upheld the Appellate Court's decision and was like, they can't, as she can't go on with that case. And the Supreme Court held 3 grounds on this. It said, one, since she has received compensation on it before, she cannot come back. She has waived her rights. Means she has said, oh no, she has dropped her right to actually sue on that marriage ground. And then another thing was that for the purpose of fairness, it said it cannot give, equity will not allow for a person who has already received compensation on something to be compensated on it again, as that will lead to fraud. So I'm putting it out here to our panelists. What do you think of this court decision? I'll start with you, Israel.
I think I completely agree with the Supreme Court, right? Because yes, there was a broken promise to marry, but you have already been compensated on the issue. So why bring it up again? So it almost as if feels like there is an agenda to it other than the initial promise to marry. Maybe because the guy is German, and maybe because there is something she stands to gain other than that. I don't think, I agree with the court. You've already been compensated, and that has moved on. So why bring up the case again after like a couple of months? So I choose to believe she had some form of hidden agenda as to why she kept pushing that the man must marry her.
Okay. Onini, what about you?
Well, 14 years. That's a lot of years. So it was 14 years of promises of getting married, and at the end of the day, just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm not doing it again. That's very serious. So I like what the court did. The court is there to create justice and then for there to be fairness, right? But I feel like the girl has every right to collect as much as she wants to collect.
You're looking at it from the happy.
Yes. She has every right to collect whatever she wants to collect, because you promised this lady and you held her for 14 good years. She did not have the right to go and follow other men, yeah? She didn't have the right to agree to other people's proposal. And all of a sudden you say, oh, you're not interested again after 14 years. So what the court did was right. Well, I feel like she also has the right to make claim or hold on to whatever material possessions that she can get from the man.
Okay, so you are agreeing with the court's decision?
Yes, that's what they are meant to do, create justice. They wanted everything to be fair. I agree with them. Of course, she's trying to take advantage of the situation, which is bad. But I also feel that whatever that she intends to do to appease her conscience and make her feel better, I think she's right.
I feel like you have something to say against what you have just said.
I don't completely agree because, thinking about it, that would have been the grounds on which, those are the things you should have been thinking about, right? Oh, you've been promising me marriage for 14 years. Yes. And then you bring up the issue, and then my office is like, oh, this thing is giving us bad PR. Let's settle this thing. So if you felt like the marriage was more important to you than that compensation, you would have stood your ground and you have told the company that, okay, yes, you want us to settle, but the only way we can settle this is if you honor the original promise to get married to me.
You know the man is already married. He has a wife.
Okay, so did she have that information? The lady, the Bimpi.
Okay, now let's assume she had the information.
So if she had the information, I think it makes everything a whole lot easier, right? You're dating a married man. Like you're dating somebody that is married and he has been promising you marriage for 14 years. I understand that it is quite dicey, but the thing is, if I am married, let's assume he is married, he's promising you marriage for 14 years. 1 year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's no way she would have told me that at some point she wouldn't know that he wasn't going to keep that promise. And then I strongly believe that at that point where you felt like this thing is not going to work, it would have been very easy for you to have maybe found someone else. I don't exactly know how old she is, so I can't speak to her getting another husband or getting somebody to marry her. But you staying in that conversation for 14 years and still wanting him to honor that promise after you've been compensated,
Okay, did I get this message wrong, or rather the conversation? Okay. So the man was already married while still dating her for 14 years.
Okay, thing is, he came to Nigeria, for work and all that. And then you being in Nigerian country, decide to, pursue a Nigerian woman.
Oh wow.
You understand? So
Okay.
now I want to make this personal love. So if
That's
it would,
serious.
if you are in the situation of the Bimpe lady, how will you handle this whole situation?
So she knew that the man was married for these 14 years. She was dating a married man for 14 years. Wow. It is well. Okay. So anyways, they've compensated her. That's all right. But now I understand it better that she knew that the man was married, right? Was she was okay with being a second wife.
There are people that are very okay with being second wives. You know that.
Oh.
And it's something that is very allowed in our...
Yes, in our society.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. So she knew what she was getting into. That when she eventually gets married to him, she will become a second wife.
And most likely, she wouldn't even have to, see the other woman, considering she's out of the country.
Absolutely. Like, he lives in Germany and then she's in Nigeria and stuff. So I feel like everything is okay. They've given you what you want. So yeah, now go and face your life.
Okay, I want to ask, right? Is it, were there conversations around if she knew that he's married? Were there conversations around him leaving the wife and then she being the main person, or it was just a case of, don't worry, I'm okay being on the sides, you're a German man, you clearly have money.
Okay.
So it should be a case of, okay, your wife is there, I'm here, and then we can just play our roles and let everybody be fine.
Okay, so the thing is, based on the facts of the case that we have, as we're not there, it's an old fact. So based on the fact of the case we have, all we know is, she sued him on breach of grounds to marry. And 14 years is a very long time. So she's heartbroken and she sued him based on her heartbreak and wants compensation for that. So he is like, oh, no, you can't sue me on this. I'm getting married. I'm married already. And apart from that, you've been compensated on this on grounds by my company, the company I work with and everything. So the question I'm putting out to you now is that if it was for you or probably your sister or something or someone like that was in this particular situation, how would you handle it?
Okay, so I'm going to come from two grounds. The emotional part. Notwithstanding the facts of the case, right? 14 years is a very long time. I mean, you date for a very long time. They were probably seeing each other. They had good times together. And then it got to the point where they were supposed to be together and that didn't happen, right? Very valid. But then, if you, on the flip side, if you're trying to think about it logically, I still believe that there is no way she won't have known in that 14-year period that this wasn't going to happen. I mean, I'm struggling to imagine how you are with somebody for 14 years and then you have no hint whatsoever.
But that was like an emotional investment. It's probably she was in love with this man.
No, I understand, right? But it gets to that point where you have to face the facts of the case.
Okay.
And reality, I don't want to know how, better put, right? Yes, you are in love. But then it gets to that point where if she truly like I said from the beginning, if getting married to this man on the grounds of love was the goal, at some point you would have known that something is wrong. Because if that feeling was mutual, okay, I love you, you love me, we are going to get married. 14 years is a long time for you to actualize that dream, right? And at that point where you got to that place where, it seems like this thing is not working out, I think the honorable thing to do was to have worked out. And then it got to that point where you felt like, okay, this thing wasn't going to happen. And then you claiming to love this person, you are now asking for compensation. Okay, fine. We've broken your heart. Oh yeah, don't worry. Let's fix it. Which some form of compensation was provided. But then you brought it up again. So that's why I feel like it goes outside the scope of love. It's more or less trying to take advantage of that situation, because I feel like there's that point where the emotional and the logic, they come. I mean, emotions sometimes excuse logic by a very far degree. Okay. But when it gets to that point where you want something and you to surely get to that point where you feel like this thing,
it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Okay, so posing a question, Onyinye. So on the grounds of the man himself, the German man who has been promising this Nigerian lady that he's going to marry her. He's going to marry her for 14 years. He has been with her, and then suddenly he realized that she realized that no, he's not going to actualize the dream. What can you say about the man coming to a foreign land to actually do those kind of things?
So there's something similar that happened in Nigeria.
Okay.
The guy is a notable person, alright? His girlfriend came on social media and started crying and talking about how they dated for 10 years. Did you see that story?
Well, 10 years.
Oh, yeah, for 10 years. So she was practically there with him when he had nothing. He was nobody. Nobody knew him. So she relocated, their lives improved. She relocated to the UK. And while in the UK, they started talking about marriage. Even the guy made her come down to Nigeria. She abandoned the life she was setting up. I think she was studying nursing and she was already working as a nurse, something like that. I don't have all of the details, but I'm particular about is the number of years she invested in that relationship. She left the life she was building there, hoping that someday her husband to be will come join her there. Although he's an entertainer in Nigeria. So she came down to Nigeria because the guy said that she should come so that they can start planning marriage. She got to Nigeria and guess what? She found out that the guy was with another person. She left her entire life, her investment. She practically packed her life.
Okay.
And came to Nigeria. So, yeah, I said that to say that that lady, of course, she was heartbroken and then she was in a bad state. She also had to leave where she was and come down to Nigeria because of somebody she thought was in love with her. So that German man coming down to Nigeria to deceive a lady, like you just boxed her up. You didn't let her explore and feel love from some other person with the hope that you're both going to get married. That was totally unfair. That was bad. so that's totally not
I
right.
agree with you that's not very okay. But one thing I want to bring in, because I've heard numerous stories of ladies actually being with someone when they promise them to marry. What do you think can be the reason that a lady will be like, okay, let me stay with this person once they hear promise to marry, marriage or something like that? What do you think, Israel? What do you think can be a reason?
Okay, so I feel like in Nigeria currently, what marriage is supposed to stand for is somewhat abused. Because sometimes, so to answer your question directly, sometimes marriage can be transactional. Because you know that, okay, if I get married to this person, I have some form of financial security, or I can benefit from this person in one way or the other. I can leverage on their connections. They have already existing contacts or businesses I can benefit from. That can also be a means as to why people hang on to situations like that for very long. Because I choose to believe that if it was a normal Nigerian man that was promising to marry you for 14 years, best believe you would have walked out of that situation on year 3. Right?
Seems
because,
like
I mean, a German man is bringing, is it pounds or euros? Did you get? So I feel that's the only way you would have been in that place for 14 years.
I don't think so.
Okay, let's hear
So I
you.
just told the story of somebody that was in a relationship with a man for 10 years. Like, you know, when you build with a man, you feel like, oh, there's no way you can abandon me. We have built a life together. Like, we have practically suffered together. We have drank Gary together. we have also together. Like, we have had to share one bed. Like, you don't understand. You feel like, oh, like, you already see your life with this person. There is no way on earth this person will abandon me. Even when things are not rosy, you just have this hope that one day it's going to get better. One day everything is going to be fine. We'll have our dream family. We'll travel the world together. Now, this man already has everything laid down. Of course, it's from a foreign country, right? So she just kept hoping that, oh, everything is going to make sense. Even though I'm going to end up being a second wife, there's no problem. She was just being a faithful partner.
Oh, wow.
And we're not blaming her for being there.
I beg to disagree, right? Because I feel like there is a lot of PR and publicity about situations like this.
Okay.
Right? I'm saying that because the same way this man deceived the woman for 14 years is the same way these things have happened on the flip side, where maybe a woman has maybe like 3 guys she's probably talking to or she keeps maybe close relations with. And maybe at the end of the day, she probably would have promised all 3 of them marriage. But then at the end of the day, she looks at 3 of them. It's like, I think this makes more sense to me and fits into my plans long term. Then what happens to the other 2? Right? I feel like it should be marriage generally. I'm speaking to the scenario she painted, right?
Okay.
Marriage generally should be, it should be something where both parties are aligned. Right? I understand the part where you want to sacrifice for your partner. I mean, you left the UK, you came all the way to Nigeria on the hopes that, okay, we've been together, we want to build and all that.
Together.
But then I also feel like there should be that room where, like, okay, let's sit down. Look at it, Nigeria, UK. I mean, in the last, 5-6 years, we've seen a lot of people leave the same country and go to that same,
UK.
There's a lot of, so if you are coming back to Nigeria for us to be together, what is that supposed to be like? I feel like these are conversations that a lot of couples run away from on the basis of love, right? I understand that sacrifice. Okay, I love this person. Even if you are in the village, I will go and meet you there.
Okay.
But then on the flip side, is that a wise decision to make? I mean, it's just like me saying now that, okay, maybe or there's a husband, maybe he stays in Lagos, or he has to relocate and go and meet his wife in Ogun State.
Okay.
I mean, there are a lot of cons and pros to that situation, right? So I feel like you should be able to sit down and have those difficult conversations, because at the end of the day, when all the chips are down, when all those emotions have settled, I feel like common sense will always win. So I feel like even if you want to do that, it still further speaks to 14 years. I mean, at least there's 1 year that you will sit down in the bedroom. Maybe when you're having your bath, you just sit down and you'll be like, this thing's not working.
I might not wasting my time.
You get like, this thing's not working. And then you have to make that, even if you don't have to you have to tell yourself that truth that you are running away from. So I feel like these things are actually very important.
Okay, so playing into world today, our society in general, how do you think, why do you think this kind of things happen or keep occurring regularly? Because you can look at multiple stories like the one she gave. I've also heard of stories like this whereby from both sides, where both male and female, where by you hear them, they've stayed in a relationship for a very long time, and then suddenly there is a break, and there is a break and all that. And apart from that, if you look at the story we told, the woman was bold enough to actually go to court to sue the man for a promise to marry. But most of these people we hear about, some of them are not brave enough to actually go to court. So why do you think these issues so there are 2 questions actually. 1, why do you think these issues keep occurring? And secondly, why do you think people are not brave enough to, go to court for compensation when something like this happen? So Onyinye, I'll start with you.
Okay, first of all, do they know that these options are available for them to explore? Going to the courts to sue your partner for break of promise. Well,
most of if you look at some of the most TV outlets and all of that things, there are now family courts that,
that are rising
up with form of mediations to, help people ensure that this kind of things don't occur all the time.
Okay, so I would say that some of them are probably not aware. For some other people, they just want to let things lie low. Let's just go our separate ways. This relationship has ended. Okay, let's end it. Let's just go our separate ways. So I feel like some of them don't know that these options exist, right? So there needs to be like more awareness to let them know, okay, when this happens, this is how best you can get appeased, sort of, right? And what's the other question you asked?
Why do you think this keeps occurring, like in our society, like
the breakups,
the coming together, the promise to marry, the breakups, and everything else?
Is a lot. Where do we start from? Why do breakups happen? So for some people, when you see people from afar, you don't know how they are until you come close to them. So for some people, maybe they see some character traits in their partner that they cannot deal with long term. And then there's issue of compatibility factors. Maybe your partner is an extravagant spender. I can't deal with that kind of life. Oh, let's just end it here. Cheating. The partner cheated on the other partner. Like, there are a lot of issues. Family issues. The family, they are not compatible. Maybe one family is richer than the other family, so there's no compromise, right? Health challenges. There is a health defect trait in a particular family that you cannot just see yourself managing or coping with that. What if your children have it? So there are diverse reasons, right? But the most common reason, the most common factor is cheating, and then financial issues. Yes, managing finances, and also maybe the partner is trying to get money, and money is not just coming. Let me just move to the next available person. And some of them, they actually end up well. There's no karma coming after them. Or do you understand? Like, they live very beautiful lives. Amazing. I simply went to somebody that is more ready at the moment.
Okay. Israel.
Okay, so I want to say something.
Okay.
That might be different from the norm that we are used to, but breakups are okay.
Okay.
Breakups are okay. Not every relationship has to end. Not every relationship has to have a happily ever after, because people think, or most people feel like, okay, once you are in a relationship, I'm going to get married to this person, we're going to build 5 houses together, which is fine. I mean, the whole essence of a relationship is for two people to come together, build a life and make it work, right? But on the flip side, if you look at the essence of being a human being, is basically are fundamentally flawed. That's one. And secondly, growing and evolving is also part of that mix, right? So when two people come together, they try to make it work. Okay, this is this and this is that, and then over time, you now realize that, okay, maybe this person, the journey we started at this point, we are now deviating from it, or you feel like you no longer share the same vision moving forward. It's actually okay to end that, right? I mean, I know that you cannot exactly quantify like emotional damage. Like when somebody's hurt, you can't exactly put a value to it, which is why I have a very big problem with her going to go and seek compensation if she felt like, oh, you are leaving me, you don't want to marry me again, or yeah, come and pay me for the time we've been together, which clearly means that there's an agenda, which brings me to the next question, why it keeps happening, right? The fundamental essence of marriage, I think, is currently being abused, because if you look at relationships of today, it is purely transactional. Okay, with this, exactly, like if I'm with this person, this is the benefit, this is the gain, this is the this, and this is the that. But then if two people are coming together, however flawed, and they are committed enough to put each other on that right path to achieving that shared vision, which is the most important thing, I think that can actually work. But at that point where you feel like I'm no longer getting what I want, I think that is where the problem always happens.
Okay. So I want to throw a question at you. So if it was you that has been in the relationship for that long with a person, would you go to court to sue the partner for a breach?
For me, I don't think there is any need for that. Right? I mean, if that does exist, I mean, the part of going to court.
Yeah, it does exist.
Personally, on my own end, I don't feel any need to go to court to seek compensation for the fact that we're together for a while and then it didn't work out. I'll just take a bow peacefully and that ends that. That's me. I don't think a lot of people agree with this. But for me, I think I don't see the need. Because if that financial gain was not the motive in the first place, what am I looking for in court? Because it's not we didn't exactly go to court and be like, oh, we want to start dating, or okay, it has ended. Oh yeah, who messed up? Okay, you did. Okay, you have to compensate me. I don't know if so. I think that's how I say it.
Okay, how are you, Nini?
First, I would say you're a very nice person. you're far too nice. Because how can you see okay, they said, oh, okay, like we can be compensated after I break up. Of course, nobody goes into a relationship with the mindset of having a conversation when we break up. For Christ's sake, right? So, okay, now they say when we break up, we have the options of being compensated. And what the man did is totally bad. We have established that.
Yeah, very true.
Right? It's fair enough that I get some form of compensation to put my life together. Who knows if my life was even on hold for that 14 years? Because some people can pause their lives because they are chasing a man or they want to be with a man. They pause their academic pursuits, their businesses or something.
Okay.
So I'm not doing that because I did not value the relationship. Of course, I value my partner. But if there's a compensation, why not?
You definitely go for the compensation.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I don't know if I'm adding or I'm objecting, but I'm going to say anyways. So I feel like as much as relationships are beautiful, right? I don't actually agree with the part where she said you put your life on hold, you pursue your education. Why are you doing that because of a man?
Some people do it too. There
are a lot of people that do that too.
No, I mean, I know they do it, but why are you doing that? Do you get? Because at the end of the day, right, if you take out that man, you exist as a person. You actually owe yourself a duty of care to get your education, to be like a good person in the society. So putting that on hold because of a man speaks to your sense of reasoning for me as a fundamental problem for me. She
doesn't agree with you.
Because secondly, I understand, I know she doesn't agree, but I am all for sacrifice, right?
Okay.
Yes, I have to do certain things in consideration of the other person, but completely putting your life on hold because of a man or a woman. So it's just like I'm saying, I won't go to school again because I have one girlfriend I'm dating. At the end of the day, she would leave me for a guy that is educated. And my own education was on hold because I wanted to make my babe happy. It doesn't make sense.
Or in the name of...
It's not as if life is going to be completely on hold. Let me remind you that this man is a German. And he lives in Germany. So maybe she wanted to further her education and do her master's. And the man keeps promising and telling her, don't worry, I'll come for you. Don't worry, I'll come for you. Don't worry, I'll come for you. Then there is that part of, I'll take you along with me. Then she now thinks I can do my master's abroad. Let me just chill. She waits 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It's going to come 5 years and then 14 years. Did she really put her life on hold intentionally?
That's
was what I meant. Like, what if she was just open? She was doing other things, but she was not giving it at all her best. Maybe a massive business she was supposed to start. She was just waiting for when we get settled. When we get settled, I will start. When we get settled, I will start. And then she did not explore. She didn't go all out. She didn't unleash her potential.
I get to differ. Because if getting your education was the goal, do you know how many degrees people complete in 14 years?
Yes.
If you take a 4-year course, 3, that's 12 years. You still have extra 3 for another one. So you waited for 14 years. I mean, I'm beginning to doubt the woman's sense of reasoning. Forgive me. Do you understand? Because I want to believe. I mean, I'm not saying in facts, but let's look at it from this angle. You're a German, I'm a Nigerian. Okay, let's talk numbers for a little bit. Okay. You're a German, I'm a Nigerian. How much will I give you in naira that should make you a big girl? If we convert about, I don't know, 2,000 pounds or 2,000 euros, that's a lot of money in Nigeria here.
Very true.
So even if you want to further your education abroad, it's something that he would happily do. Because it's not something that it takes that conversation outside of the marriage context, right? You are in whatever country that you are. He can even give you a recommendation, pay your fees and all of that stuff. That doesn't actually qualify in the context of marriage. So what I'm saying in essence is like a comment to what she said, you don't necessarily need to marry this man for you to have your education. Do you understand? Okay. Like you can do a lot of other things. Like let's even look at it on the part of financial gain. Even if she wanted to gain from him financially, I feel like she misused that 14-year period. Let's be honest. All right? Because if you want to start a business, if you started a business at year 1, do you know, like, if you manage it properly, you invest, cut cost and all that, do you know what that business would have been in 14 years? If you want to go to school, you would have completed several degrees in 14 years. Do you get? Whatever it is, like I said, I don't know for facts, but I don't want to believe that him giving her money would have been an issue if they survived 14 years. Because at that point where he was no longer being of any financial, I don't think that love would have lasted 14 years. That's honestly how I see it.
Okay. We need to have
So
anything
you're
to
saying
add
that
to.
there were a lot of financial gains already. So that's why the relationship was even sustained to 14 years.
I mean, that's the only explanation because,
Wow.
I mean, a man is supposed to provide,
So what
right?
do we say of people that are in relationships where they don't have so much financial benefits and they're still there and they still break up with them?
Okay, so for this, right, I'm coming from the angle of motive, right? You love somebody for 14 years.
And you still want to collect money after.
No. I'm not even looking at the collecting money part now. I'm saying that what is that thing that has kept you in that relationship for 14 years?
It could be anything that has kept her.
So to answer your question, are you saying that you were in that relationship for 14 years purely because you loved this person and you were not gaining anything from it, looking at the information we have concerning this case scenario?
I don't think that was the case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was purely on the premise of love, I honestly don't think they would have survived 14 years in the first place.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If it was just because I love you, you love me, I don't think they would have survived 14 years. And to speak to the question you asked, like for people that are in relationships where they are not getting anything, any form of financial benefit, and they are still there for that time, I mean, they need to come and tell me how they are doing it.
Well, these things happen. There are people in such kind of relationships.
So again, that is why I said some conversations need to be had. You cannot keep pushing, it will get better, I love you, you love me.
To say that. They keep saying it
those
will get
difficult
better.
conversations need to be had. I mean, it's like okay, we came together, we love each other. So what is the end goal of this love that we are doing?
To start a family and have children.
If we've not started a family by year 14, what are we now doing? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, that those difficult conversations need to be had. Not just, I love you, you love me, to get better, you go and sleep, and that settles
That's why
down.
the money is there, to just make her feel better that after all.
Believe
after
me,
14
that
years.
money is not going to make her feel better. And that's the truth.
Okay.
That is the honest truth. That money is not going to make her feel better.
Okay. What about the man's philandering? His character, he's going around and saying, he has a wife, but he feeling like he can be with the Nigerian woman. Because if you look at the case closely, based on the story I told, you could also look at the fact that probably the woman was even deceived into being with him. Like, look at it from that context. What if the woman was actually deceived? After all, she's from Warri, and this is a man that is coming from outside the country, giving her seeing the pounds and everything of that sort, and then family issues also. Like, probably the family would have most likely have known that there is a German man coming to ask for a hand in marriage. So when we put all of these issues together, will you then still say that the 14 years of her being in that relationship and her asking for compensation at the end of it was not very valid? Onyinye, let's start with you.
Like I said earlier, the fact that she had to request for the compensation at the end of the day is valid, and sort of it will make her feel better, I assure you, right? Whatever opportunities that she probably missed out on, it's now time for her to pursue them and try to get her life back on track, right? We might come from the point of, you guys were in a relationship, why do you still want to get compensated at the end of the day? But it's 14 whole years of her life. It's not a joke. And you mentioned all of the things that she probably would have been able to achieve. Mm-hmm. If she were married at the first year, she would have had a 13-year-old child.
So
that's a lot of, let me not call it wasted years. The least that can be done, since this option is open, let her just make good use of the opportunity and move on.
Okay, what about you?
Okay, so piecing everything together, right? I know that marriage in Nigeria, like, is a very big deal. Is fundamental. It's
the culture.
Yeah, it's a cultural thing. Like, if you look at it in context of people that are single and people that are married, once you are married, there's a certain level of respect that is accorded to you. Like, okay, Mrs. is like an achievement. Do you understand? So I understand where all of that emotional pain and hurt is coming from. But for me, I like to keep things very simple, right? There's no way she would have told me that she's not heard stories about people that come from abroad, woo young ladies, and then maybe even sleep with them and run away, get some of them even pregnant. So this is not something that is completely a mystery. These are things that happen in our everyday lives, right? And then, even if you were deceived, right? I don't know. I feel like that time frame is too long for somebody to be deceiving you. Like, it's too much. I can understand. He comes, he's a foreign man, sweet talks you, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that.
On the part of the family, can you not say that the family must have, made her, stay in the distance? Maybe she has heard some rumors, she has heard all these kind of things that maybe in foreigners coming in, but the man has already met the family and the family already knows about this. So can you say they are part of the reasons why the 14 years actually...
Okay, I'm going to go straight to the point on this. Like I said, marriage is actually a very big deal in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. It is a fundamental essence of our culture. When you look at it in context of people that are married and people that are not, I feel like there's a certain respect that is accorded to married people that are not given to the single people. And then married people are generally perceived as responsible. Or you have a family, you have kids, and there's that. To be responsible. Yeah. So if you now look at it in this, even if the family were aware that there was anything going on between these two people, right? I still am of the opinion that there's somebody if there's somebody in that family that would have read the situation and would have addressed it. If this thing is not working, let's call it off.
But you can't say that all African families are like that.
Yes, so that is where the you telling yourself the truth comes in, right? Because marriage is a personal thing. As much as two people are coming together, you are coming together individually to become a whole, right? So if at that point, your family is even pressuring you into a marriage that you know that is not comfortable for you, it's safe for you to also tell them that this thing is not working for me and you call it off.
Okay. Do you agree?
So I know that my mom would not watch me be in a relationship where I'm not getting the best.
Exactly.
And somebody's wasting my time. And she will not step in and say, please just end the relationship with this person. So I feel like typical Nigerian families, of course, they might encourage you to an extent, but when it's getting to 14 years, that's a long time, right? So the best is to step into the situation and advise the person to leave the relationship. There are a lot of amazing men out there, for Christ's sake.
All right. So, so based on this fact, the woman also asked the court to compel the man to get them to get married. That was where he brought up the issue of he's already married. So do you believe that the court can compel someone to get married? Hey.
For the court to compel the man to get married to the lady, I feel like it to be a disservice to the lady, because for Christ's sake, like, the quality of your life, are you not thinking about it? Life is not all about marriage. Like, this guy has wasted your life for 14 years already. Just move on to the next person, or maybe find another path for your life.
She wants to achieve the goal of the marriage.
Remember, he didn't even choose you first. Choosing you the second time, do you think you have the best of your life and a relationship with that person? I don't think that's right.
Sorry, before I say what I want to ask again, so that I'll be sure.
Okay.
Was it the lady that asked the court to compel him to...
Yes, it was part of her claim. After she asked for the money compensation, then she now asked the court to compel the man to get married to her. And that's fulfilling the breach instead of him, since he has been making the promise for 14 years.
Well, I can't exactly see but I know that there is something that she's not saying. There is something that she's not saying, because at this point, if she clearly had that guts to go to court and make demands, it clearly means that she was now, we've come out of that emotional phase. You are now thinking logically. So if you know that this thing is not good for you, then why are you insisting on it? I mean, I don't think the court should compel people to marry, because I feel like this thing should be like out of their own free will. Because we've seen situations where you clearly know that this person is not good for you. Then if I now force you to be with that person, that means it's not going to come out well. It's not going to come out well. Because I'm going to deviate a little bit. There are people in maybe abusive marriages. They are finding it difficult to leave already. And then you are now compelling these people to remain there.
That's not good.
Okay. So on this ground, what is your biggest take from the conversations we've had here? Your biggest take from it? Based on everything you've heard, everything we've discussed about.
My biggest take is that do not be in a relationship for too long where there is no headway in, say, 1 year, 2 years. It's something that you would have talked about at the start of the relationship. The relationship should have a goal. Are we working towards getting married? Let me even talk from the point of a Christian. We are advised to get into a relationship because we want to get married. So there should be an end goal, and there should be a clearly stated timeline that within this particular time we'll cut, and then we'll start planning towards our marriage. So when it seems like we're approaching the timeline
and nobody is saying anything.
Oh my God, things are not coming together. Oh, we have to have another very serious meeting. Because there's no time. You have other things you want to move on to, for God's sake.
Okay, Israel.
I'm just, to add to what she has said, I feel like difficult conversations need to be had. And I'm also strongly of the opinion that love is not enough. Right? Once you get to that point where you feel like it is becoming a fairy tale, I think it is important that you go back to the drawing board and realign your values and that destination for that relationship. Because being in a relationship on the basis of seeing where it goes is not. I don't think it's ideal, right? So those difficult conversations need to be had at that point where you feel like, okay, this thing is no longer working for me, or is going a different way from what the original intent was.
Okay. So today we've actually gone through a whole discussion whereby we've seen where promises, expectations, and family align. Thank you for being here today. So in summary of everything that we've discussed today, we can see that we take it as a take-home lesson that we shouldn't be in a relationship for too long, and where we don't see an end goal, we should actually step out of it. And pain and heartbreak occurs, but we should not use our pain or exploit our pain in such a way of getting to the point it gets very unnecessary. And also for the purpose of fairness, that was why the court decided that it can't give her a double compensation, as it will lead to fraud. This is LHS, where we connect the law to the people. I am Amara, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you.